If you're deciding between Owala and YETI, here's everything you need to know. We'll do an insulation test with wireless thermometers, a drop test, review common questions like is it dishwasher safe, give our recommendation, look at some pretty sweet thermal imaging for good measure, and we're gonna do it in under 6 minutes. Let's get started by looking at the main reasons to buy either bottle. For Owala, it's the free sip lid, which is a combination straw and chug spout. So you can choose to either sip from the straw or chug from the larger opening. Most straw lids on the market have a pivot style spout, and those are notoriously difficult to clean because there's always a seal under the spout that's really difficult to get to. But Owala avoids this problem. Pivot style straw lids also typically have a really small vent hole, so they require more suction. But Owala's chug opening acts like a really big vent, so it's just easier to take a sip. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but you can really notice it. The hinged lid also covers up the spout to keep it cleaner, while pivot spouts are exposed and can get dirty more easily. The spout is also ergonomic, which isn't the biggest benefit, but it's definitely noticeable and feels weirdly good. The main reasons to buy a YETI are the durability and the brand power, which makes it a great gift. YETI's brand is heavily focused on being over-engineered and durable, and their bottles are no exception. It also has a handle that's simple but comfortable, even for larger fingers. Now let's look at why you wouldn't want either bottle. For Owala, a lot of people are turned off by the color choices. They're pretty wild, so if that's not your style, then Owala's can be a big adjustment. The handle is also one of the narrower ones on the market, which keeps them from being as convenient to carry with you. Avoid YETIs if you want to save money because they're notoriously expensive. And also avoid YETIs if you prefer a more lightweight option, especially if you go hiking a lot. Now let's get into the details, starting with an insulation test. And I do a standardized test where I add 16 ounces of hot water to the bottle, and then I drop in these wireless thermometers. Then I record how long it takes the temperature to drop between 65 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I also repeat the test and average the results, and they showed that YETI performed about 23% better than Owala. This is probably because the lid is thicker and more insulated, and if you just look at this thermal imaging, you can see that the vast amount of heat transfer happens through the lid. And based on the test results, it's no coincidence that the highest heat point it's picking up is on the Owala. And if you're curious why I did the insulation test like this, particularly when Owala says you shouldn't use hot water with their free sip bottles, I'll leave my reasoning in a comment below. I also did a tailgate drop test by dropping the empty bottles from 33 inches. I did my best to drop them flat on the bottom, and I noted any damage before and after the drops. From what I could see, YETI lives up to their branding and is clearly more durable. You can see some small dents and scratches, but Owala has more and they look more severe. It's worth noting that I don't have a YETI with a powder coating, so I wasn't able to check how well the painted ones hold up. For Owala, I have seen quite a few people mention how the lid broke or malfunctioned, and that's probably because it relies on a couple of springs, one for the button and one to flip open the top. Now here's a list of common questions and answers for each bottle. It's a lot of information. You can pause to look through everything, but there are a few that I'd like to call out specifically. Both bottles are dishwasher safe, though you should put the lids in the top rack, and YETI recommends removing the gaskets and seals and putting them in the silverware tray. Honestly, that's a good practice in general to make sure the seals don't slip off and fall on top of the heating element. It's also worth noting that Owala strongly recommends hand washing the bottles to prevent cosmetic damage, but YETI doesn't mention anything like this. I also recommend doing a deep clean on your bottle about once per month by cleaning under the seals and using a Bottle Bright tablet. When you're just looking at these two bottles with these lids, YETI's Rambler with the chug lid is easier to deep clean, but that's mainly because chug lids in general are easier to clean than straw lids. To Owala's credit, it's probably the easiest straw lid to clean that I've tried so far, so if you want a straw lid and keeping your bottle as clean as possible is a high priority for you, Owala could be the better choice. YETI is technically a little wider diameter than Owala, but neither one is really cup holder friendly, so you'll likely need an adapter like our Bottle Pro Max. By the way, I'll leave links to all of these products in the description, and if you use one to make a purchase, we get a small commission at no cost to you. Thank you, because it really does help. When it comes to brand recognition, Owala is making major gains, but there's no doubt that YETI is still much bigger. Brand power is a bigger deal when it comes to gifting, and each one of these bottles is better for different types of people. I made another video specifically about this topic that I'll link in the description, so if you're looking for the best gift and have another 4 minutes, check that out. In summary, both are really good bottles and are very popular for good reasons. Owala is the better option if you really want a straw lid because YETI's replacement straw lid is honestly pretty basic. Owala is also a good choice if you're looking for a bottle for commutes or road trips. Straw lids are generally the safest option for driving because they let you keep your eyes on the road more easily. And with Owala, everything on the lid is attached. Compare that to YETI's spout cap, which comes completely off, so it's an extra thing to juggle and potentially drop, which can take even more of your attention away from the road. YETI, on the other hand, is the better option if your focus is getting a bottle that will last forever because it's extremely durable and avoids common breakpoints like little springs and hinges. Here's my full Owala review video if you'd like to learn more about that option, and here's my biggest video so far with over 30 bottles. Hope this helps, and happy hydrating.